You are listening to One Happy Podcast, episode 63.
Yeah, it was. I think as soon as we got there, really on our first trip, with yes, this is it.
Just like to come and live there, yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Bon dia and welcome to One Happy Podcast, the officially unofficial podcast of the island of Aruba. As always, I'm your host, Curtis Robinson, aka Aruba Kurt, and I want to thank you guys so much for choosing to download and listen to this latest episode of the show. Now, today's show is one that features a couple of guests that you may already be familiar with. Way back last year in episode 34, I interviewed a couple from England who purchased a home on Aruba their very first trip down. Then, on their second visit to the island, they spent 9 weeks completely remodeling that home, getting it ready to be rented out. So basically, by the end of that second trip, they spent nearly 3 months on the island and didn't really get a chance to even explore Aruba. So that's what this interview is all about. Now that they own a rental home on the island, what do they actually think of Aruba? Okay, that's probably a little bit sensationalistic, but you get my meaning. Actually, this is a pretty cool episode that allows us to get to know Debbie and Patrick a bit better and also features some pretty useful advice directly from people who have purchased, renovated, and now rent out a vacation home on the island. So hop on that treadmill, enjoy your commute, or just sit back and listen to episode 63 of One Happy Podcast, checking in with Debbie and Patrick of Fortuna Villas, Aruba. Okay, so the last time we spoke was back in episode 34 of the podcast, which was in November 2015.
Wow.
You had just finished renovating your home in Savanetta. Now, you guys spent so much time there doing all that work that you didn't really get a chance to enjoy Aruba.
No.
But it's been about 9 months since then, so let's catch up on how things have been since then.
Yeah, but it's been fine. Rentals are going well. We're having a steady flow of rentals and having some really lovely reviews, which is really good.
Very nice. Yes, I always try and make sure to leave a review anytime I choose a place to stay.
Yeah, it's good because you get great feedback and to change a few things and improve.
Right.
It's a lot of learning for us. First time we've done this, so a lot to learn.
Well, a lot of renters, they neglect to do that, but really, to me, it's just a great way to say thank you for opening up your home to me.
Yeah, we have had some lovely guests. They're really lucky.
So, you mentioned that it's a rental, so tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Through the website. We've got a website and our Facebook page. That's the main two things, but we are listed on a lot of the rental companies like Airbnb, HomeAway.
Yes, Fortuna Villas.
Yeah, it's Fortuna Villas. The Facebook page is for Fortuna Villas Aruba, and the website is www.aruba-villas.com.
Great house. I actually went past there on my last trip down.
Right. So you've seen it.
Yes. Yes, I saw it from the outside.
Yeah.
Great area.
Yeah, it's lovely and quiet.
Yes. So can you describe the house a little bit?
It's 3 bedrooms. But it will sleep up to 9. So there's two sofa beds in the lounge area, so you can fit 9 in there. It's a very big place. It's bigger than what it actually looks when you walk in. There's a lot of space.
Yeah.
The outside area is absolutely huge. It's massive, and it's got a really big pool, lovely bar, 2 nice seating areas as well, and the dining table and everything outside. So you can literally live outside. When we were there, we stayed outside the whole time.
Nice. Yeah, the pictures that I've seen, it seems like it'd be the perfect place for like a family getaway.
Yeah, or 2 families.
Or 2 families, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, it's great. Absolutely love it.
Now, you guys were back there when?
In May.
In May, okay. And this time you were able to actually enjoy Aruba a little bit. So let's talk about that. How did this trip differ from your first trip?
Well, we planned it as a holiday, so that was a lot different rather than all the hard work that we did before. So we did plan as a holiday, and we planned to see a lot more of the island, because this would be our third trip out. The first trip we were obviously looking around at properties, and we didn't do a lot. The second trip was all hard work, and we didn't really see much then. So we went back this time to actually see where we bought.
That sounds so funny.
But it was lovely to go back, and like I say, lovely just to walk in and it was done. To open our doors and go in, it was brilliant.
Right. Yeah, completely different feeling than the last time you had seen the place.
Yeah. And I can remember from when we touched down at the airport, I was in the pool within an hour.
Nice. Perfect. Sounds great. So is that what you're looking most forward to doing as soon as you touch down?
Yes, definitely getting straight in the pool, because that was that's what took a lot of time and a lot of effort, and creating it and not having a chance to enjoy it, to actually go back and get straight in the pool.
Yes, and your pool's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Can you describe it to people that may have not seen it?
Well, it's one of the largest ones you can get. It's like a fiberglass. It's a fiberglass pool. It's one of the larger ones, which we had to have made and shipped over. It's 27 foot long.
Nice.
So
lots of space.
Yeah, just really wanted a big pool. It's lovely to go back and see all the planting that we'd done before we left. To actually go back and see how it all grown.
Right.
It's so much more lush than the photographs that we had back in November. Plants are grown, and it looks so lovely.
And you also have lights by the pool, right?
Yeah, we've got loads of lights at the back of the columns. They all light up. Underneath, the palapa is all lit up. We've got loads of solar lights that come on when it starts to get dark, and it all twinkles. So it's very pretty. And this time round, when we were there, Patrick redone all the bar lights as well, so the bar lights up.
I almost forgot about the bar. You have a tiki bar.
Yeah, and it's really big. It doesn't look as big in the photographs, but it's very big behind there. It's got sink and fridge and the grill, and it's also got hot plates so you can cook outside.
Very nice.
Not always on the grill, but the hot plates are there as well. So it is an outside kitchen. Right.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome.
And you probably fit 3, 4, 5 people behind there easy enough cooking.
Nice.
But I made a lovely job of the lights, and it looks amazing. So and we bought a lot more signs and decorations for the bar, which Patrick put up, and they look really great.
Nice, cool. The house is located in Savanetta, which is an area that not everyone's familiar with, because a huge portion of people that visit Aruba, they never get out of the Palm Beach, Eagle Beach area.
No.
So let's say that I want to rent a home, right? And I'm looking to branch out a little bit. So I come across your place in Savanetta. Can you tell me a little bit more about the area?
It's a local fishing village. So it's very quiet. Very peaceful. We're just across the road from the beach, so you can go to the beach, and mostly you'd have the beach to yourself. Snorkeling there is really good. Well, we found it's probably one of the nicest spots to snorkel, and we sort of had a snorkel in some other places, and that seems to be very good there. And it's very quiet, so you can have the beach to yourself. And also not far from Baby Beach. It's only a few minutes drive down to Baby Beach, which is lovely.
So, I mean, Savanetta is actually like a really great location to make your home base, because of how it lies in between Baby Beach and, the Eagle Beach area. Yes.
Yeah. And the main road has lots of shops and supermarkets, restaurants. And so it's all very, very close.
Right. That's actually one of the things I wanted to ask you about, is the restaurants in the area, because I bet you the majority of people that are listening haven't experienced the restaurants in Savanetta.
Right. Well, we've got the Z Rover across the road.
Everyone knows that. That's a great place.
and the flying fishbone.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see those from the door, from the front of the villa.
Right. Now, I've seen the flying fishbone, but I've never gone there. So can you tell me a little bit about the flying fishbone?
Well, I'm going to let you. I'm going to let Patrick describe that.
Okay.
Okay, well, it was a destination restaurant for us, Curtis, in that all the time we were in Aruba last year, we kept saying we must go to the fishbone, we must go to the fishbone, and we never actually made it due to just being so busy and just not being able to do it. So my father actually joined us for the third week of our vacation this year. It was his 80th birthday, so he flew out and joined us for the last week. So we took my father across to the fishbone, and fantastic experience. In that, just as you walk in it, it's located on the beach, and literally there are tables and chairs in the water.
Oh, really?
And have your food with the water lapping at your feet. If that's not for you, or the ladies have got nice shoes on, you can actually sit on the beach itself, which is fine. And we just sat in there, and we had a cocktail drink, and just absolutely fantastic. And we watched the sunset, out over the water, and it was just the most stunning experience. The food is amazing. So we can't recommend it highly enough, and it is a really, really super place. And literally it's less than a 5-minute walk from the front of our villa. So it's when we go back, we'll certainly go there again.
Nice. Sounds great. You've convinced me.
Yes, yeah. It's very popular with people coming from the high-rise area. Lots of taxis come and bring people. So lovely for us to be able to just literally walk across the road to it.
Right.
So that was great.
Yeah, there's some pretty interesting restaurants down around that way. Experiences you don't get up in the high-rise area.
That's it.
So where else have you visited down there?
Chris's place.
Yeah, the restaurant used to be the Cuban restaurant up on the corner. Yeah, has been taken over by Chris, and it's now called Chris Restaurant.
Okay.
And that is lovely, absolutely lovely. The food is lovely. There's so much food that we were eating it for 2 days.
Wow! And what kind of food is it?
I'd say it was Cuban.
Okay.
Yeah, there is rices
steaks and sauces.
Yeah, and chicken and
fish. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, 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 really lovely. The food was well cooked. So definitely would use that. We used it for a takeaway and brought it home and had it at the villa. And like I say, there was just so much food. One portion was definitely enough for two of us. We had to eat it for 2 days. there was so much food, and so reasonable too. I can't remember exactly how much we paid. It wasn't much more than $25 or something for 3 of us.
Oh wow, for 3.
That was the takeout. But like I say, that lasted 2 days, and you just couldn't eat it. I had fillet steak, and had 3 large pieces of fillet steak with rice and chips and coleslaw, and it was just huge.
Nice.
So, and that was brilliant. It was lovely because, like I say, within 2 minutes you're back in the villa, so it's still piping hot to sit around the table and eat. So that was brilliant.
Right. Yeah, see, those are type of unique experiences that I love hearing about, because a lot of times when you're traveling with a group, one of the obstacles you run up against is convincing people that, it is okay to get away from the typical tourist areas, because there's experiences like Chris's restaurant, like the Flying Fishbone, Z-Rovers, away from that area.
And also around the area, Curtis, there's some very good supermarkets as well, and you can go and get sort of some cuts of steak. There's a supermarket called New World, which is just on Route 1 heading towards St. Nicholas.
Okay.
Go to the meat counter. There'll be a beautiful fresh piece of beef there, and you say, "Can you cut me 3 steaks the size of 2 fingers?" And just cut you fillets, and you just take them back, grill it there and then, and it's just fantastic. And and so the food and the produce is so fresh. I mean, you can go the other end up to Superfoods and to the big supermarket there, but that's a sort of a little bit of a drive. But you pick up the same quality, if not better, in the local supermarkets. Save-A-Lot is nearby as well in St. Nicholas, in which case it's reasonably priced, really good quality produce, meat and fish, and it's local shopping, very much local. The locals use it. And you can go in and just take what you need for that evening, take it back and grill it, and absolutely fantastic. So it's we'd really recommend that the local supermarkets. You can get everything that you need. Get your beer and your meat and vegetables, anything you'd need at all. You get the fresh bread. It's cooked and heated every day. It's just great. So we spend a lot of time sort of just grilling ourselves. Eating in our outside space, and then just swimming at night time because the pool all lights up, the weather's beautifully warm, so you can have your dinner, have a couple of drinks, put the music on, and just get in the pool, and it's just absolutely wonderful.
Yes, I miss night swimming. The place that we rent now doesn't have a pool.
Okay.
So I really do miss that.
Yeah. And it's so private as well. You're not overlooked at all, so you can just be relaxed and just swim, knowing that you just got the place to yourself. It's.
So, how far away from the tourist area is the rental?
Right. So we're 10 minutes from the airport.
Okay.
And I think then the high rise is about 15 minutes from the airport, so it might be 25 minutes.
Right, that's about what I would say. Yeah. And how far from Baby Beach?
About 20 minutes.
Maximum. Okay. I think we've done it in 15. It depends on the traffic, but 15, 20 minutes maximum.
So you're pretty much like in the center of those two destinations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's
awesome.
A couple of local beaches as well. The beach opposite us literally takes 90 seconds in the car to drive. You can walk it as well, but if you want to take your towels and all your you just load the car up, drive across. 90 seconds later, and then everything's in the car ready for you as well. Or you can drive literally 7-8 minutes down, take the coast road, and you're at Mangahalto, which again the water is just absolutely stunning. And the beautiful thing about it is because Savanetta was originally where the original natives landed, it's in a big lagoon. There's a reef. So the water is warm, it's calm, plenty of fish in there for snorkeling, but it feels very safe. You don't feel like you're out in the open water at all because of the reef, and that's the beautiful part of it.
Nice. You guys, you're avid snorkelers?
We do. In fact, we probably mentioned last time we bought these full facial masks, mask and snorkels.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so we took those back with us, and in fact, when we left last year, we left those with our friends who live in Nord, and they've been using, and then we bought some more and went back with them. And I say my father is 80, and so I took him snorkeling. And he had a fantastic time. In fact, he hadn't been snorkeling since he'd been in Trinidad, which was where I was born, back in 1960s. So he hadn't been snorkeling for nearly 50 years. So and he loved it, absolutely loved it.
Now I've seen those masks a lot more recently.
Yep.
So I mean, they're really catching on.
Yeah, and it's just such a nice way to snorkel without having to have something jammed in your mouth, or you just feel you can look around and mainly for shallow water. It's not meant for sort of scuba diving,
right?
But it's just for floating on the surface and watching the fish and the plants and seeing all the coloured fish in the shallows is a wonderful experience.
Yes, sounds awesome. And Mangahalto is one of your preferred areas to snorkel?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's nice there because although there's no actual beach, the cliff edge, the clip goes right to the edge, and then they've got decking, so you can sort of get straight into the water. But we like our little beach, Savanetta Beach, which is the one opposite, and because there's sort of piers going out into the water, where the metal stays go down into the sand, they've corroded slightly, and you get a lot of fish and fins, and so literally you can stand up to your chest in the water, and then everything is there. You don't need to go into the depths. So if you're nervous about snorkeling or swimming, you can still do that and still have the experience without having to go into the deep water.
Very cool. It's like an artificial reef.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Nice. So, what other experiences did you have when you returned down to Aruba in May? Because, I mean, you guys were visiting almost as if you were newbies at that point. Did you see anything that, like, surprised you?
Well, I think that, again, that's going to be you. You took your dad out and on a trip, and I stayed in in the pool.
Yeah, because my father was there, a friend took us on a sort of a trip, and we went to the sunken bridge and sort of went all around that area. And also to the other side of the island, which is a complete contrast.
Right.
And we went to the gold mine and had a look around there. And we brought a huge stone back and put it in the garden. And we called it Roger's Rock, because my father is called Roger. So there's now a testament to my father being there in the villa, in our garden. So that's
pretty awesome.
So that great big black volcanic stone and beautiful. So the north side of the island was very interesting, very rugged, very much stronger water and waves, and so we found that was quite striking, and all the little sand roads that run across that side of the island. It's quite bumpy. Our friend had a 4x4, so and you do need that. I don't think our little rental car would have made it. So
right, that was going to be my next question, actually.
So certainly a lot of Jeep Safaris go out that way. But if you've got a reasonable car, ideally a sort of 4x4, a Kia or something, one of the slightly larger cars, it'll cope with it fine. A little, I'm not sure it was a little Honda or what it was, probably wouldn't have made it. But right. Because it is quite, although it's sand roads, it is quite tough terrain to drive on. So you need a reasonable car to go out that way.
Right. I always try and advise people to rent a Jeep, if only for one day, just to explore that side of the island.
Very much so. And we went all the way from the sort of the church, all the way across the coastal road, right up to the gold mine, and then back in through St. Nicholas to the big rock formations. And,
right,
and in that way, so it was a really good day out.
Yeah, so you did like a complete circuit.
Yes, yeah, because we just hadn't done it. We just hadn't had time before, and it was a great excuse for my father being there to sort of take him and show him the sights, and
right,
that was excellent. So
I'm sure he loved it.
He did.
It's a very cool thing to do. Did he have some favorite restaurants there?
Well, we took him to Sea Rovers, which he really enjoyed. He liked the experience of that. Having the fish and chips and the prawns was great.
Right. So, well, a lot of people do know Sea Rovers because it's pretty famous.
Yeah.
But there are also going to be some people listening that have no idea what Sea Rovers is. So, can you explain that to them?
Yep. That's a local fishing restaurant where they catch fish every day, and what they catch they cook. So you go in and you order fish, and they have fries and prawns.
And you order it by weight, right?
Order it by weight, and then you go and take your table, and then they cook it, they fry it for you, and bring it out in baskets.
Yes.
And then you sat right on the water, which is absolutely lovely.
Beautiful location.
Yeah, so probably the freshest fish on the island.
Yeah, it's coming right out of the water.
And it's open during the day as well. It's open every day. I think Mondays it may be closed, but it's open during the day. And so you can go across there and just buy the fish and come back over to the villa and put it on the grill and do it yourself.
Okay, so you can also use it as almost like a grocery store when it comes to the seafood.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Go and buy fresh fish and take it home, which is brilliant.
Any other restaurants that you can think of in the area? I'm trying to learn as much as I can about the Seven at the area, just in case.
But there are several restaurants up on the main road, and we haven't been to all of them. There's House of Cakes.
Okay.
Which does amazing cakes, but they also do traditional food and breakfast. Next door, they have a Sunday barbecue, or was that Saturday and Sunday? It might be a weekend barbecue, which is an all-you-can-eat breakfast barbecue.
Oh, nice.
But we haven't tried that one as yet. But we have been to a House of Cakes, and then of course around the corner there's the little local bakery, which is a favourite of mine.
Yes, me too.
So although I'm not I've not really got a sweet tooth. I like their savoury snacks, the lumpia.
I love their lumpias.
Yeah, which is all cooked fresh, and that's it. It doesn't open until 4, so you have to get there and queue up and buy your things to take home, which we normally do. Bread and donuts and cinnamon buns and hot snacks.
Yes.
I'm quite happy if it's just around the corner, which is literally 30 seconds away. So.
Yeah, I was surprised at how close it is to your house.
Yes, just around the corner. And while we were there for that 9 weeks, it took us 6 weeks to find it. Even though it's 30 seconds away. Because you have to go there at a certain time for it to be open.
Or you won't notice it at all.
Times and you'd never know it was there.
But man, once it opens, it draws a crowd.
Yeah, and then you see the queues and then you think, that's where it is. So
awesome.
When we found it, it was good. So we used that a lot while we were there.
Yes.
It's very good. There are other restaurants further down, just past Savanetta, which is Pirata.
Yes, Marina Pirata.
Marina Pirata. We've not been there, but that's another fish restaurant.
Yes, well, next time you go down there, make sure you go to that.
Yeah. It is one that I've sort of thought, we need to go into there, but we haven't quite got that one yet. But we do plan going back very soon, hopefully. So that'll be on our list of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and La Granja is up on the main road as well.
So how do you like La Granja?
It's good. There's a lot of local people use it. It's that's open for breakfast as well, isn't it? Yeah, that's open early in the morning.
Okay, didn't know that.
For breakfast as well as at lunchtime, they have lots of special offers on.
It's a very affordable place.
Very, 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 very reasonable in there. And again, sort of chicken. You've almost got a whole chicken. It's huge.
Right.
Portions are big in there as well. So.
And you get rice and fries.
Yeah,
so huge carb hit. Yeah.
Right. In case you want to run a marathon afterwards.
Yeah. And there's also a Chinese restaurant up on the main road we haven't tried yet. There's several local ones that we haven't tried, which are like on our list, but there's just so many in the area, and there's lots of I'm not sure what they call them. They're open lunch times. Then I want to say food trucks, but they're not food trucks. They're
more like snack stands.
Yeah, a little cabin, almost like a cabin.
Yeah. Just
on the corner of Route 1, little Cuban place. They sell soup and takeaway food for lunchtime for the work.
Right.
And there's several of those up on the main road.
Yeah, see, something that people can't be afraid of in Aruba is just stopping off someplace and trying what they have.
They are very, very good. Very, very good. So it's useful to stop and buy food, perhaps on the way back home, and take it back, which we've done many times, take it back to the villa.
Right. You can save a lot of money by frequenting those types of places.
Yeah, and they're brilliant. And there is also there is one of those trucks. They call them
food trucks.
Food trucks
up on that main road as well. Just minutes from there. We haven't tried that, but that is one we want to try.
Yes, I am addicted to food trucks.
We haven't tried any as yet.
Well, we have a lot around here in the United States, and like I can't go past one without at least sampling what they have.
There something we have said we're definitely going to try. We have, and say there is a local one, so we could try that as well.
Right. Yeah, this is like research for me because next year when we come down, we'll be bringing a group. I'm not sure how large the group is going to be, but I do know there's going to be quite a few people. So I'm thinking that maybe Savanetta may be the place to go because for me at least, whenever it's just me and Maggie, I like to be up in the touristy area. Just because there's just the two of us.
Yeah.
But for a group, it's like that's the built-in entertainment, so I don't need to go to karaoke at Bugaloo or anything like that.
Yeah. We went up to the high-rise area on one evening, didn't we? And we had what I don't know the name of the restaurant. We had dinner up there, so we did go up there. Like I say, it's not too far to drive.
Right, it's not.
Have a night out, but I think we've just enjoyed being at the villa, like with the pool and the bar and the music, and just been able to really enjoy that, and it was really relaxing. So,
yes, and I think that's the big thing, is that it would be a lot more relaxing in that area.
yeah.
And that was the thing for us. We had done so much the previous year that we really would just wanted to have a proper vacation and just be able to sit and relax, drink beer, and just enjoy the work that we'd done. And
right.
And rather than getting out every day, going out every night, as you possibly would, we just said no. We're just going to chill and maybe go out every third night, maybe.
Exactly.
So that was great. And I said, once my father joined us, we just sat around talking and chatting. We played cards one night and just really lovely. Enjoyed the quietness really. And that was great. And then when we did go down to the high-rise area, we walked all along the front and we saw the sunset, and we went downtown and we saw the gift shops and the concessions. We walked mountains, and so we really did sort of go through everywhere, and sort of showed him as the lights came on, the nighttime down there and the music started, which was great. And then when we'd had enough, because bless him, my father is 80, and so
right.
So I said, "Yep, okay, we've been walking a couple of hours now. I've had enough." So we just drove back and then sat comfortable again in the shade with the beautiful breeze and looked at the lights in the garden and just sat there. So it was really good, really good.
Yeah, you can't beat that. You guys have created like a small piece of heaven in paradise.
And also I think Debbie mentioned earlier on that the difference this time is when we walked through the double gates and we just walked into our place, and it was so often there were wheelbarrows and there was sand and cement and concrete mixers and just tools of the trade and people there. It was just lovely to walk in and it just be ours, and just shut the door and just have that peace. It was just wonderful.
Yes, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you for a small piece of advice.
Okay.
If I were someone who was looking to purchase a home in Aruba, where would you suggest that I start?
Whoa.
That's good question. Good question. I mean, we were very fortunate in that our good friends who live on the island found this particular property in the local paper. So it was for sale, and we just followed up, rang the number in the paper, and went to have a viewing. But also, while we were there, there's another property for sale on the beach side, just across from us, actually on the water itself. And so we contacted a realtor and we made an appointment to go across and have a look at that. It was pretty pricey, over $1 million. So a little bit out of our price range, but it's at the moment, so there are some good realtors around, and obviously that we could check it all out on the websites and look at it before we went to view. So the internet is certainly a good start, and as we mentioned, we were very fortunate to find our property and our land through the local paper.
Yes. I think the important thing is to just be ready to take action. So when you do stumble on that perfect property, you can seize the moment.
Very much so. And in fact, we've got some exciting news in that I don't know whether we've mentioned, but we have not only the villa, but we have some land attached to it as well.
Right.
So we've put in for planning for the next phase of Fortuna Villas.
Oh, nice.
And we're just working with an architect at the moment to get planning to expand and to build some more.
Well, that's pretty exciting. How large of a project is this next phase?
Possibly, it's still going through planning, but possibly another 12 villas.
Really?
Yes.
Very nice. That's awesome. Love it.
But that's a long-term project.
Right, definitely. But it's nice to see you guys progressing towards that.
There while they're doing it.
No.
No, definitely not.
How many meters?
I think the land itself is about 5,000?
5,500 square meters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's large, very large.
But he said we're looking to put 12 two-bedroom villas with each one. Very similar to what we've done, but each one with their own pool but there'd be 2-bedroom rather than 3. Whereas the main one, Fortuna Villas, is very large, and it's got the large beach hut in the front which holds everything. It's probably big enough. It has its own shower inside there as well. It's big enough to make into a studio flat. And that's the outside kind of shed type thing where we keep all our beach equipment. So they won't be as big as Fortuna Villas, but 2 bedrooms.
About 100
That's perfect.
square meters.
Yeah, probably 150 square meters per property for rentals.
That sounds awesome. I mean, it's like you're going to have your own little community down there.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to do that.
Yes.
It's really exciting. It'd be really great to do that. That is a long-term project.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think at some point you would relocate from England to Aruba?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah? So that's also a long-term plan?
Hopefully not too long.
Right.
We hope to within the next 2 years.
Oh, really? That soon?
There's things that you have to do. It's only this week that we've managed to set up a bank account, which has took 6 months or more to actually set up a bank account. Everything takes so long. So it's only this week that we've actually got a bank account in Aruba. Planning will take, the process will take probably about a year from start to finish. The process is a lot different to here in the UK, so that's another year. So it's a long-term project. So maybe within 2 years it would be nice to pack up and come and live in Aruba. Perfect.
Well, congrats on making that decision and for actually taking steps to make it a reality.
Yeah. It was. I think as soon as we got there, really on our first trip, this is it.
I'd like to come and live there.
Yeah, this is it.
Nice. See, first you guys tell me that you're building a community, and now you tell me that you're moving. You're just full of surprises.
Well, today has been one of the very, very rare days we have warm weather in the UK. Normally it's cool and grey or raining. So we would just like to go somewhere where it's warm all the time, and that Aruba is the perfect place for that.
Most definitely. Man, you guys just blew my mind.
Well, we needed to top the first project, so I think we may have done it. So, we just got to start phase 2 as soon as we can.
And then 2 years from now, I'm going to have you guys back onto the podcast so we can talk about you establishing residency in Aruba.
Sure, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about on this episode of One Happy Podcast?
No, I think just a little bit sort of feedback of the people who have rented Fortuna Villas. I mean, I say we've had some very positive and lovely reviews, and a lot of people sort of said it's actually nicer in reality than it is in the photographs. But I think one of the biggest things or the most common thing people have said is that you do need a car. It's absolutely essential that you get a car, because it is the quiet end of the island. You can't really walk to any destinations other than the restaurants and the beach over the road. You do need a vehicle to be able to get you around. And also if you're a large group, you may need 2 vehicles because of the. I don't think the island really does 7-seater vehicles. There don't seem to be very many.
I've seen some at some of the rental agencies, but they're very expensive. It's almost cheaper to just rent 2 vehicles.
And that's what I was going to sort of say. So we would probably suggest that rent 2 vehicles, and then sort of you've got the island to explore then. And the only other sort of advice we would probably give is to just don't take too much stuff. We packed suitcases. We were there 3 weeks, and really I could have done with 1 shared bag.
Right, I hear you.
Didn't need all the shoes and the clothes and the stuff that we took.
Yes.
Traveled very, very light. And also the villa is very well equipped. There's snorkel gear there's towels, there's everything that you would need, so you don't need to take a lot of your stuff.
And our new snorkel master there as well.
Yeah.
We left them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really the sort of advice that we would give. And just to say, if you're looking for a quiet experience, but you can get to the high life and the nightlife very easily, then Savanetta is the perfect place to just have a really wonderful holiday or vacation.
Yeah. And I think it's lovely to actually walk about in the local area because it's local people. They're just so friendly, and everybody wants to stop and talk to you. We used to sit outside the front of the villa, and the locals that would just be walking up and down, they all want to talk to you, and it's just such a friendly atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that's Aruba.
Completely different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lovely.
Now, if I were buying a home in Aruba with the intentions of renting it out, do you have any advice for me?
Aruba.
Probably to have a decent management agent.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned been just speaking to Liz just now. We can't recommend her highly enough. She's been so wonderful for us, and because we have rented the villa out quite a lot in the last sort of year, she's been absolutely fantastic in giving us advice and help. So we would sort of recommend that to have a local, knowledgeable, experienced management agent rather than trying to do it yourself. So because obviously there's language, there's people arriving. You need to have a team of cleaners, pool staff. You need a team of maintenance people really to make sure the property is ready, particularly on quick turnarounds, because sometimes we've had someone leave in the morning and somebody else go in the afternoon, so they have to make sure that the property is turned around and ready to go again. So having good management is very important, particularly at distance like we are.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want something unexpected to come up and not have a capable person there to handle it.
Exactly.
Well, great advice. See, I'm using this as like research.
Okay.
I'm learning a lot from you guys. Yeah. But I don't want to take up your whole day. I do want to thank you for once again being a guest on One Happy Podcast and for catching me up on what you've been up to since the last time we've talked.
Okay, no, it's been really, really good, and so we got exciting plans for the future as well. So we'll certainly keep you up to speed with what's happening.
Yes, please do. Please do. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for once again joining me. And I guess I'll let you get out of here, okay?
Okay, great stuff.
Thank you, Kurt.
Okay, great to talk.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
So there you have it for episode 63 of One Happy Podcast with Patrick and Debbie. I may be a little biased, but in my opinion, that was a fantastic interview with two great guests. They bought, renovated, and now rent out an awesome home on the island. Who wouldn't love to do that? Now, there was so much information jammed into that 45-minute episode of the show that I'm sure you probably missed something. If so, don't even worry about it because, as always, I took the notes so that you don't have to. And those notes can be found at onehappypodcast.com/EP63. Onehappypodcast.com is the flagship for all things podcast related, so head on over there to check out what's going on. There you can access an archive of this and every other previously recorded podcast episode, the resource page, blog posts, and of course the mailing list featuring a weekly newsletter that goes out. Also, please do keep the feedback and suggestions coming, as I absolutely love hearing from you guys. The best audience a podcaster could ever hope for. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Now, if you want to get in contact with me to be interviewed on a future episode of One Happy Podcast, I guarantee you will have fun doing it. You can contact me either by emailing me at kurt@onehappypodcast.com, that's Kurt with a C, or head on over to onehappypodcast.com and go to the tab at the top that says Share Your Story. We all have an Aruba story to share, and I would absolutely love to help you share yours. So check out onehappypodcast.com, catch me on Facebook at facebook.com/onehappypodcast, or look for me on Twitter at ArubaKurt. Can't wait to speak with more of you, but in the meantime, peace, love, and Aruba.